we're all Christian and believers in the Lord. Why don't we make this the Christmas show?
Let's make this the Christmas show.
We can.
This is the official Christmas show?
This will be the
official Christmas show.
That airs just before Christmas.
So we can say the 4 L's.
Yeah.
The Lord.
Yep.
Life.
Yep.
Liberty and 9mm Luger.
Meet the Pressers with Matt Mallory and Klint Macro. Brought to you by Public Safety and Education and the Trigger Pressers Union. And now, your hosts.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Meet the Pressers. My name is Klint Macro, and this is my co-host, Matt Mallory. We're a show that's on, well, we try to be on every week, and we like to talk about guns, training, and a little bit of political activism.
This episode of Meet the Pressers is made possible with the generous support of the lawofselfdefense.com, Nikon, Shooter Technology Group, ASP, Saber Red, the Safer, Faster Defense Responder 2.0, and Lee Armory. Thank you.
We have some special guests tonight. Ken Ortega and Maggie Mordaunt. CCW Maggie. Mr. Ken, tell us a little bit about yourselves, what you do, what your passion is, where you come from, and what got you guys into firearms.
Well, I could just start out, I guess, by saying that firearms was always part of the life that I grew up in as a kid, growing up around, hunting and all of that. That's really how I was introduced to firearms, was going out hunting with my dad, my uncles, my grandfather, and just shooting long guns was really where I got introduced to that. And then later on in life, when I met my awesome wife, we got into handguns, pretty heavily. So it's always kind of been like in a family tradition, per se. Didn't really get into the defense side of things until about 15, maybe 14 years ago, something like that.
Very cool.
Cool. Yeah, so I actually first started out in the gun culture when I was about 12 years old. My parents actually owned firearms for home defense, but it wasn't really something they ever talked about. I think my mom had to use a gun once because somebody tried to break in. I think that was like, whoa, we have guns in the house? And so at the age of 12, I was in 4-H and in Houston, Texas. That's where I'm originally from. Ken's actually originally from Las Vegas, New Mexico. And so when they kind of reached out through 4-H, they were putting out the youth hunting program through the King Ranch. And so the King Ranch is a pretty well-known ranch in the hunting community. They have some of the largest ranches in the world. And so they had like an essay program. And that's when I first kind of got introduced to it. Was we all submitted essays. And I have 2 older brothers, but I have 4 cousins that lived with us. We're all boys. And so I kind of had 6 older brothers. And so, we all put in our essays as to why we wanted to go hunting. And my father was a gourmet chef. He was also a mechanical engineer, but he had actually kind of changed his job force because the company that he worked for went under, Renault 16, if you ever heard of it. And so I actually put in my essay, and I basically stated that because I was raised in a very old-fashioned Latin, family, girls actually sat down last, and we always had to kind of serve the table and then sit down. And so in my essay, I literally put in there, I said, well, the reason why I want to go hunting is because I want to harvest an animal and help prepare that animal in the kitchen with my dad so that I can be one of the first to get to sit down at the table. And that's actually how I got to go in and be a part of that program. Awesome. The Claybergs, Patty Clayberg, she actually was like, oh, yes, we definitely got to get this young lady in here. They had some of the best instructors. And so I have to say that I was kind of spoiled in being trained by their elite, hunting instructors there at the King Ranch. And so I was really more shotgun, didn't really use rifles as much until I went on a hog hunt. My only hog hunt I went on as a young girl. It was the last one I ever went on because I actually got run up a mesquite tree by a mama pig. And so scared me to death. And I was like, yeah, I won't do that again. So I just kind of upland gay bird, things like that. Did a lot of hunting through different, with different friends and stuff, but then kind of took some time off, and then got back into firearms again, not because it was something that, I was active in as an adult, as a 30-year-old. I just saw it as a need because I was actually going through a divorce, a very horrible divorce, and found that I needed to get a firearm to defend myself. And so that's when I met Ken, because he's in real estate. I asked him if he could actually sell the house that we were dividing, and we just became really good friends. And then Ken said, I think we should be more than friends, and then asked me out to go eat lunch. And so then crazy enough, this is like crazy because here in Nevada, things are very different. And the court system literally took possession of my firearms, would not allow me to have them while my divorce was being finalized, even though I'd actually stated that my life was in danger, that I'd been in a 10-year abusive relationship, and that I was being told that I was going to die. And so, long story short, they finally released my firearms that I'd actually purchased. And Ken, I said, hey, Ken, you want to go with me to go pick up my guns?
Guys, this is where it all started. Yeah, literally, Maggie said, and we were just dating, she said, hey, I just got this letter, and, I go pick up my guns. And I just, we'd only known each other for like a couple of months. Guns didn't really come up in the conversation. And so I look at her, I said, you have guns? And she's like, yeah, let's go pick them up. I said, cool, let's go get some ammo on the way. And so one of our first dates that we had, like an official first date, was at a shooting range.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, but we were so green. It was so funny because I look at that now. I look at some of the pictures because I was like taking pictures and everything. I'm like, oh my God, what are we doing?
Yeah, I hear that.
Funny.
It's like, oh my gosh.
Speaking of green and first dates, one of my first dates with my wife was gigging frogs.
Oh, that's fun.
Nice. I like frogs.
What's gigging frogs? We have another name for that in Pennsylvania, maybe.
What's
so
that?
You're stabbing frogs?
Yeah.
Pitchfork and frogs.
Yeah, with the stick.
Yep.
Spear.
Exactly.
They taste good.
They do.
Oh, I was going to
Taste
say,
like chicken.
Did you eat them?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
We did. We didn't just gig them for gigging them. We gigged them and then
Ate them.
gigged them and eaten them.
No gigging for gigging.
No gigging for gigging.
All right.
So then, when we were actually dating, and we'd actually gotten into, using firearms is not only for defense. We started taking training classes together. Some of the places that we would go to, I was like, really? This is really a dangerous place. We should find more training. We should look for more training.
We were seeking.
We're like, oh my gosh.
12 years ago, guys. We
Yeah.
were like, seeking, and we took training in all different places around the country,
Yeah, most definitely. And at the time, I was actually in the fitness industry, actually. My background is nutritional science. I minored in physical education. I was a bodybuilder. I was doing a lot of fitness training. And one day slipped and fell, broke my neck. And I have 3 artificial discs, a metal plate, and 8 titanium screws in my neck. It's hello.
Yeah, matching scars.
And so, it was like, I have to reinvent myself. And, Ken and some of our friends were like, Maggie, you're actually really good with firearms. They're like, we brought our girlfriends out, our wives out, and, they didn't want to shoot until they saw you shooting, and you shared all your guns with them. And they said, you should become a firearms instructor. And in this town, it's kind of the good old boys club type of place. Mm-hmm. There weren't any female firearms instructors in this town. There were only the ones who actually helped, with paperwork. On paper, they were firearms instructors, but really they were paper pushers, really,
right.
And helping put targets up and whatnot, and making sure their boyfriends or husbands or brothers had food. And so for me, I was like, hey, I know how to do this. And, I not just long guns, but now getting into using pistols. So I kind of went ahead and started from the baseline of what I see as a baseline training, which are the NRA courses, because it is a great place to start, I think, when it comes to, understanding all the details of firearms, nomenclature, things like that, safety as a skill, things like that. And then going to more deeper into the science of defense. My first video that really kind of we shared, we got it from the NRA, and it was Rob Pincus. And I was like, who is this bald guy? And so I'm playing the videos and, you know, listening to all the information. I'm like, oh my gosh, that totally makes sense. And, you know, we were, you know, studying these videos and buying more videos and just kind of, you know, trying to mirror, mimic, and match and get on the range and copy that stuff, but not really understanding fully what we were doing, just knowing that this is what that guy was telling us to do. And so, you know, we prayed about it and we saved some money and we decided to invest in going out and taking live training with Rob in Leadville, Colorado.
Leadville, Colorado was our first
Yes.
first trip, you know. So yeah, that was really cool. I think it was back in 2013.
Okay.
That was our first exposure live course with Rob.
Yeah, live
You know,
course.
on the PDN tour, you know, and it was, we actually had a family reunion in New Mexico.
Oh, neat.
And so I told Maggie, hey, look, this is happening then. The PDN course is like 2 days after. Let's just, you know, take a little trip up there. And it worked out really great. So we ended up meeting Rob and taking some training up there, you know.
Yeah.
So it worked out really good.
Yeah, it did. It did. That family reunion, I always like to throw this in there. I actually saved his entire, the entire town of Las Vegas because his mom is actually one of 11 kids.
Huge
so
family.
like big campground. So he had a shotgun. I had a stun gun with me. We had our pistols in the truck. And so a bear came into our camp area and was looking for food.
5 a.m.
He comes out with the shotgun. I come out with the stun gun. I saved everybody.
Ah,
Just by making a zapper noise, the bear took off. You know?
really? That's good. Yeah.
That's a deterrent for sure.
Most
It really
definitely
was.
is.
We didn't eat bear that night, just saying.
Well, at least you didn't eat crow.
Exactly.
It's true.
Like that.
Yeah, well, Ken, that's the first time I met you was through Rob.
Yes.
We went and we audited that class and then kind of assisted at USCCA headquarters a couple years ago when the methodology was first introduced to USCCA.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Nice.
Yeah, that was really a great trip.
Wisconsin?
Yeah, that was that was our USCCA headquarters,
Yeah.
and that is where I first met you. And it was really that was a pretty awesome trip. You know, just you know, that whole methodology. You know, we've been studying it for a while as students. We've taken some instructor development for a while as well, and to go and just we've seen the light bulbs go on from end user students, and also on the instructor side, you know, to actually experience the instructor development end of it was really cool. Really, really cool to just see the evolution happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. We've all drank the Kool-Aid on that. I've certainly been heavily vested in it, and I look forward to helping grow that cadre for sure. I very
all
much
gone.
bought into the methodology. It does make a great deal of sense, and I love the fact that it evolves. It constantly evolves, and you know, the process at the end of the day, asking people to question it. Hey, is there something that you want to call BS on? And I've learned more things about myself.
Yeah.
Being able to have people in my class who are not come from the gun community. You know, they're just average people who just maybe got a pistol not too long ago. Maybe they just started shooting and they look at things differently. You know, we have that reverence for Cooperisms and other things like that. And they're like, well, gee, I wouldn't pick up a spatula like this. I'd pick it up like that.
Oh yeah.
The same thing here. Hey, yeah, that's actually a great idea. You know, and so I've seen the program evolve in the grand scheme of things, the short time that I've been involved with it. So it's definitely very refreshing. And then Maggie, I first worked with you we indirectly talked to one another on the Facebook and whatnot, but I think I first worked with you. You were in the TC class out in Reno, correct?
Yeah, you were my TC for the TC program. Yes.
Yeah. Well, we call them facilitator is the
Facilitator.
Yeah, so I was your facilitator.
I think that's the first time we've met, Ken, at that same training counselor when I was a facilitator, I guess you would say.
I think so. In fact, I think weren't you both facilitators in the same team?
In Reno.
Well, no, he had one class and I was in another group. I was with Heather Borland, but we did shack up and we shared a hotel.
That's right. Because I remember working with Beth Alcazar and I think with you, Matt, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But Matt did actually visit our classroom and we talked a little bit as well.
Yeah, I did. I jumped around. I was the jumping facilitator helping class.
The floater.
I was the floater. I was. Most definitely. And then
you can put floater on your email signature now.
Floater extraordinaire.
Floater.
Hey everybody, it's Alessandro Padovani from Safer Faster Defense, and I'm watching Meet the Pressers with Matt Mallory and Klint Macro. Don't miss this episode. Lots of good information, and don't miss the next one either. Stay safe, guys.
Meet the Pressers.
Now, I'm looking at a Realtor.com photo of this guy named Ken Ortega in Henderson, Nevada. And he looks a lot like you, but you got a little bit more gray right here, I see.
Stuff right here.
It's like a driver's license where like it's from many years ago, right?
Yes.
Still looks just like you, man.
About 15 years ago, maybe.
Was it? Yeah. And mine's turning gray right here from all the grandkids and stuff, and I just keep shaving it away, and it just keeps coming back. I don't know.
You bet. It's kind of funny. Anyone that says, "Hey, I want to be a firearms instructor," this is what you get. You know. So.
Yeah, get enough guns pointed at you on a firing line. It makes the hair turn gray quickly.
For sure.
Most definitely. So mentors in the industry, if you guys could pick one or a couple that you've trained with, maybe even ones that you aspire to train with because if you've heard good things about them that you're looking to get out there and add to your repertoire.
I mean, when we first started out, we were looking at everything that was out there, and we looked at the Masada Yubes and Jeff Coopers and all the information from years gone back, and there was some good information out there. Obviously when we found, Rob's stuff, for us, that was really refreshing. And that's where, when it was all science-based and it was, it just had a lot more meat in there that just made a lot more sense, so obviously Rob's been a pretty big influence to us. But others, there's a few others. I mean, I think Maggie and I want to go train with Klint over in Thunder Ranch, just to go and just make the experience and drive up, see what's going on.
Oh, just so everyone knows, that's the other Klint.
The other Klint.
That's not me.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to say.
Yeah, he's kind of a big deal. Yeah, most certainly.
He's a funny guy, so. Yeah. But there's a few others that are, pretty good out there. I just, I look at other people that have good information, and just with anything else, I find, there's 80% of really good stuff out there, and there's maybe 10, 15, 20% that I just either have that respectful or reverence for. You know what I mean?
I love that. That's actually something Klint and I have talked a lot about where, it's, I forgot how you categorized it earlier, Klint, but you've got that aspect of you're not going to agree with everything.
Oh yeah. Right.
That you agree with and understand that that's a base, just like Second Amendment rally, right? Not everybody there agrees on everything, but we definitely agreed on the Second Amendment.
For sure.
Yeah, we were talking about different methodologies and different kung fu, for lack of a better term, that different instructors bring to their classes. And I kind of look at it, well, I've bought into this methodology, and here's why. And like I should be able to rattle off several reasons why to truly defend my stance on that. Yep. But I look at other folks, and most of the big time instructors, 70-80% of what they teach is very similar, and in some cases the same stuff. They might have different terminology for things, and that other 20% or so of nuance, that's their individual kung fu. And I don't agree with all of it, but I kind of look at it, and this is I think what Matt was referencing, if it's safe and ethical and contextually appropriate, then okay, sure, that's fine. I can disagree with that, and I'll tell you why I think this over here might be a better way to go. But we can leave it at that. I think that's safe to say. If it's safe and ethical, then you got to kind of pick your brand and roll with it, right?
You bet.
An instructor that I would actually love to go and train with, that is a friend of ours who trains with this person quite a bit, Robert Ayala. He actually trains with Tony Blauer.
Nice.
He has the whole spear.
Yep.
Methodology. And so I actually I love to do the physical aspects of it. He does a lot of hand-to-hand type of stuff.
Right.
And so I want to kind of change it up because I do a lot. I have to say it's hard for me to go and want to add something else that I am still working on. I took IDS about 4 years ago, and I was like, what is all this? I don't understand. Not everybody here understands what he's talking about. And for me, I hadn't taken the DFC. And so I kind of put the cart before the horse. And so I did the DFC. which was amazing. I did that with Jamie Onion,
Yep.
and with Ken Crawford and Barrett and Derek, and they all came out here, and it was amazing. And so I said, you know what? I'm the kind of person where I have to do things in order. I'm not a certificate collector, and I want to do things the right way. And so I want to say that the next step is I want to go back and I want to train with Rob first,
Nice.
and then add more information, with Pincus, and then add more to my own personal protection, because I'm not an all-day buffet instructor.
Mhm.
I'm not an edged weapons, empty hand defense, firearms instructor, things like that.
If I could interrupt for a minute, have you worked with Alessandro Padovani?
Yes.
Oh, you have?
Alessandro's
yeah.
a great guy. Yes.
Yeah, his pokey classes with the knives are fantastic. And to see him teach the same methodology, especially him having English as a second language, his economy of words.
Yeah.
Really, just listening to him talk helped me become a better instructor, not to mention the benefit of taking the knife class. I thought that was a pretty fantastic thing.
Yeah,
We hosted him out here for that.
did you?
Good,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, we're
we work with
co-hosting them.
Alessandro. Oh, are you guys?
Yeah, we've got through Meet the Pressers at my place in upstate New York. We're going to host him for the ins and outs of knife training.
Yeah, I had him come to Pittsburgh about 2 years ago, I guess it was. Maybe it was last year, but yeah, really an excellent opportunity.
You bet.
Yeah, we did a women's empty hand defense class, and then we did the edged weapons class here, and it was just amazing. I've always loved knives, and but really never understood what were the best knives, how to implement them, how to use them, even against someone who's bigger than you. It was just amazing. Even with that empty hand defense, it really goes kind of hand in hand with the two. And they picked up one of the biggest guys in the room, and Alessandro made me fight with that person. I was like, really?
Yeah.
I was like bruised. I was like, oh, thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Hey.
that was great. I was breaking out our fixed blade that we got from
That's sweet.
Oh, is
Steiner.
that one of Allie's?
Ken Crawford.
That's Ken Crawford's.
Oh, that's
design.
Ken's.
Yeah,
I
Reno
didn't
Guns and
Reno
Range.
Guns and Range.
I have to say, I did not know Ken designed knives.
I think
He
I've seen
designed
some.
this one.
Yeah, he
Great
designed
job.
that one. And they're all numbered too. They're amazing. I love these. People are so jealous when they see that I have this. You can still carry it, or just carry it on your belt there.
Horizontally.
And just like, it's right there. It's
Great
like
fixed
awesome.
blade. Super great. So again, other skills where
Yeah.
us personally like to develop for our own personal protection, but we won't teach it. That's where we bring in the
Yeah.
pro like Alessandro to come in and woo everybody with his knowledge. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
Yeah, that's one thing that I have to do, being a law enforcement instructor and law enforcement in New York, and keeping everybody up to par. I've got to constantly keep taking the courses to keep fresh on it, because I'm not teaching it constantly throughout the year. I'm usually teaching it for the in-service training for a lot of the officers in the central New York area. So the handcuffing, baton, pepper spray, defensive tactics, open hand techniques, stuff like that is not something that I do frequently. And unfortunately, a lot of cops don't do it frequently. And that's, what I try to get across to them is you're not going to be able to put your seatbelt on while you're getting in the car accident. It doesn't work that way.
So true.
Yeah, we have a subject matter expert in our company, Homeland Personal Protection, who actually teaches the empty hand defense.
Kung Fu Sansu.
Kung Fu Sansu, Charles Smith.
Yeah.
He's our SME on that one. And then we also have Ernie Lorelli, who teaches our tactical combat casualty care, as well as our pre-hospital life support.
Yeah.
He's amazing. He used to be a bomb tech. I think he's been blown up, 2 or 3 times?
Twice.
He and his wife were bomb techs in the military. And
He's like survived them. He's a good one.
Yeah. He's the guy that
He's a good one. Yeah, I suppose if he wasn't.
Right.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be talking about him in the present. Be past tense.
He'd be the guy that they would send in first. Like if there was a bus with people that blew up, he'd be the first guy on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure there was no other secondary devices and things like that. But super knowledgeable, super great guy. You know what he does for a living now? He's a second grade teacher.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty dangerous too.
Sure is.
Kids today.
Yeah. Oh my.
Yeah.
Very true.
You want me to do what? No.
Exactly.
It's like, what?
So one of the things we talk about in the show is political activism, and I know both of you have been active in the state of Nevada with pushing pro-liberty pursuits. anything you'd like to talk about? Is there any particular organizations in Nevada that local Nevadans, or hell, anyone across the nation, if they want to help out, could support or look into?
So I think it's important for people to really do their research before they start donating money and following organizations, because there are organizations out there that have kind of lost their way and their main focus is about collecting the money and really not doing the work. And so I just tell people, do your research, because there have been a few here in Nevada that were actually in it for the right reason, but then actually kind of fell off the wagon, in my opinion. And so they'll remain nameless. And so, I just think it's important to understand what's going on in politics and who you're voting for. People have to, again, do their research and find out who these politicians are, whether they're Democrats or Republicans, because the human condition has its ways. And even though someone says I am, they may not be.
I've always said that to my students or people, anybody I'm talking to about voting, don't just look at what they say, look at how they voted, look at their past, look at how they voted. And then that's going to tell how they're actually going to vote in the future, because they'll tell you whatever they want you to believe to your face.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah. And just because someone has an R attached to their name does not mean that they're pro-liberty either.
True.
In Pennsylvania specifically, as I'm here, we have quite a few pro-gun Democrats. They got D's next to their name, which, you talk to people in other states, they're like, what's that? Don't just assume because they got a D next to their name that they're anti-liberty, although unfortunately a lot might be. But they do need to learn about those individuals and help the ones that are pro-liberty, and then the ones that are not, we got to do everything we can to get them out.
That's so true. That's so true, Clint. We've seen, there's so much corruption from different organizations, outside organizations that are anti-gun, where they're actually now paying some of the state assembly people here in Nevada, and also some of the state senators, including our governor. There's actually there's record of donations made by organizations, the Bloomberg organizations, all of them, where they're taking money. That includes our governor, that includes certain people, and they're obviously they're voting a specific way because they're corrupt. They've been paid. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Bloomberg's spent a lot of money in Pennsylvania over the last couple of years.
And I mean, there's some organizations that have been doing some good things over the years that have helped out. At the state level, we have the Nevada Firearms Coalition. Good. They're one that they do some great things when it comes to having a PAC and actually having a lobby and things like that. That's important. That part of the MDFAC is super important. I mean, I would just say any other state organization, again, like Maggie said, do the research. Well, Maggie and I are affiliated with a few ranges here in town. There's about 4 ranges that we go and train at. We don't own our own range, so we have different places where we teach at and we're contracted at and all of that. So with that said, like during the outdoor stuff, the home defense, the CCW courses, we're out at Boulder Rifle Pistol Club. We're pro staff members at Bass Pro Shops. Nice. So we do a lot of our introduction courses there, and we meet a lot of people there as well. And that's been a really great facility for us to train at as well.
Yeah, Bass Pro Shops is amazing. They have been so good to us, and like Ken said, we don't own our own range. And so, we are actually afforded the ability to train in their beautiful conservation room. I just taught a CCW class and a hunter safety class in there this past weekend. You can put about 40 people in there. It's an amazing place. And, we are contracted pro staff members. And so, check out Bass Pro Shops Cabela's now. And, they've got some great stuff for the holidays that you're going to pick up for whether you're camping, hunting, fishing, things like that. So check out Bass Pro Shops Cabela's. We also teach out up at Clark County Shooting Complex, which is in more the northern region of Las Vegas. We do train quite a bit out there sometimes. And
Las Vegas Shooting Center.
And Las Vegas Shooting Center. My goodness, that's such a great place. In this town, you'll see there's a lot of places, a lot of ranges, indoor ranges that actually do a lot of the fun shoots. You get a lot of tourism and things like that. And so as locals, we like to do staycations, and we'll go to some of the places. And our favorite one is Las Vegas Shooting Center, right off the strip. They have some great packages where you get to do fun shoots. I actually don't own a full auto. And so in order to get my smoke on, I get me a full auto and create a cloud of dust and do a freedom shoot.
There you go.
We did that last time. It was really fun.
So we teach a variety of classes, from beginner classes, USCCA programs. That's an area that we want to expand and do more of. I think we need to come up there and hit one of your classes. That would be really good.
I know I'm wanting to host Klint Macro, so I'm always following and seeing what I can learn from you as well as one of my mentors. And so I'd love to have you come out here and learn from you as well. And so that's another person we're going to have out here as well.
Well, let's look at the calendar and make sure we make it happen in 2020.
Yes.
21 again if we want to as well.
Hey, y'all, I got a great new album in the mail today.
You're a mean one.
Celebrate Christmas with the Cobble Sound Christmas Orchestra and Scotty Grill. Merry Christmas, Mr. Grinch. Enjoy this Pittsburgh Guys holiday classic.
This is a fantastic album, man. Let me borrow it.
No, my brother. You got to buy your own.
Another fine product from Armed Pussycat Records. Merry Christmas, Mr. Grinch. Download it today from Amazon or iTunes. It's only 99 cents.
Now, back to Meet the Pressers.
Us here at Meet the Pressers would like to say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of our viewers and listeners.
Yes, absolutely. And remember what Christmas is all about. Giving gifts and all that is nice, but let's all take a moment to thank God for giving us his son so that we can all enjoy everlasting life.
Amen.
Amen to that.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Merry Christmas from Maggie Mordaunt
And Ken Ortega, HPP Training. God bless you guys.
God bless
Have a
you.
great Christmas.
Yes. Have a wonderful Merry Christmas, and understand that Christmas is about the Lord. And with those 4 L's, I will say it's all about the Lord. It's all about life. It's all about liberty and 9mm Luger. Just saying.
There you go.
Pew, pew.
Pew, pew.
Yeah, people don't know, but Santa Claus actually has a Glock 43.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
That's what he uses to keep the reindeer in check.
You know, now, our schedule is at the website, hpptraining.com.
Awesome.
And that's where everything pretty much, we funnel everything through that website. There's like 2 or 3 other URLs that kind of like tie into that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the one that we send everyone to. So our training schedule is there. CCW Maggie, the Facebook page, HPP Training. We're just kind of like building that one page at HPP Training. But now we're starting to get into a little bit more video, a little bit more content and all of that.
Good.
For us to grow into that,
Yeah. It's been great.
Well, it's been great having you on.
Thank you guys for inviting us.
Yes,
Oh,
thank you
yeah.
for having us. We're really excited, and we were able to do this with you guys, and to do it to represent God and country and the people that we love. Homeland Personal Protection is all about God, country, and the people that we love. And as Americans, we love this country and the people that are in it.
Well, keep up the good work, and thank you very much for coming on the show, and have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Awesome, guys. Merry Christmas to you guys as well. Have some great time with your family, and after the holidays, it's like back to getting, to normal, with training and all of that. So enjoy the time off.
Right.
God bless you guys. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Happy holidays to everyone who's celebrating other, holidays during this season and this time. Stay safe. Hug the people you love, and we'll see you next year.
Take care.
Good seeing you. Thank you.
Take care, man. Be safe. See you guys.
Take it easy.
We have a lot of sponsors that made this show possible.
Make sure you check them out and give them your business.
This episode of Meet the Pressers is made possible with the generous support of the lawofselfdefense.com, Nikon, Shooter Technology Group, ASP, Saber Red, the Safer, Faster Defense Responder 2.0, and Lee Armory. Thank you.
Thanks for watching the show.
Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and click that little bell to make sure you know when our next episode's uploaded.
Until next time.
A Merry Christmas to us all, my dear.
God bless us, everyone.
Thank you for watching Meet the Pressers.